Across various regions of the United States, a zombie virus outbreak has occurred one after another. To prevent the situation from worsening, the U.S. military has urgently ordered a complete lockdown of the most dangerous infection zones. Meanwhile, they've collaborated with the pharmaceutical company Infiltrating to develop a chip that suppresses the zombie virus. This chip contains a highly concentrated serum called Zombrex, which can prevent infected individuals from turning into zombies. Under the military's mandatory measures, millions of infected individuals have already been implanted with these chips. However, Zombrex can only prevent the virus. It cannot completely eradicate the outbreak. As a journalist, Carter has repeatedly sneaked into the quarantine zones because he suspects a close connection between the zombie virus outbreak and the military. One day, with the help of an informant, Carter discovered a shocking secret about the military. To capture compelling evidence, he risked entering a building. Just as he expected, the top commander of the quarantine zone, Lyons, was conducting a shady deal with a group of people. The shocking part of the deal was that it involved live humans. During their conversation, they also mentioned a mysterious project called Afterlife. Before Carter could record the crucial dialogue, the informant waiting outside was accidentally exposed. The leading thug wasted no time and executed the informant on the spot. Carter, who was filming from the shadows, was also discovered. Seeing that the thugs were about to catch him, Carter quickly made a run for it. He barely escaped the building, only to be spotted by a patrol car outside. Not only did he have to evade the military's pursuit, but he also had to watch out for zombies that could appear at any moment. Fortunately, a single zombie wasn't much of a threat, and Carter managed to escape the quarantine zone and meet up with his colleagues waiting at the rendezvous point. However, what Carter never expected was that the evidence he risked his life to capture was refused to be aired by his company's boss due to its overly explosive content. After all, it involved high-ranking military officials trafficking prisoners, and they had no idea about the purpose behind it, nor did they understand the specifics of the Afterlife plan. It would be suicidal to confront the U.S. military head-on based solely on a disjointed video. Though Carter felt aggrieved, his boss's reasoning wasn't entirely without merit. The immediate task at hand was to find stronger and more compelling evidence. That night, Carter went to a bar alone to drown his sorrows, only to encounter Hancock, a high-ranking executive from Infiltrating, in the restroom. Hancock not only knew everything about Carter but also knew about the Afterlife project between Infiltrating and the military. This piqued Carter's interest immediately. However, the military had already started hunting him down. With no other choice, Carter had to escape with Hancock. It turned out that the Afterlife project was developed by Infiltrating and controlled by the U.S. military through a chip network system. If the zombie virus ever got out of control, all it would take was the push of a button to kill all the infected individuals implanted with Zombrex chips. This meant the military had control over the lives of 1.5 million people. Now, the situation with the virus outbreak was clearly beyond what anyone had anticipated. To completely eradicate the source of infection, the military had initiated the Afterlife plan without Infiltrating's knowledge, scheduling it for 7 p.m. the next day. Although a female executive from Infiltrating strongly opposed this plan, Lyons, the commanding officer, was adamant and insisted on proceeding, leaving her with no options. The lives of 1.5 million people hung in the balance. Early the next morning, Carter found his best friend Garth and planned to team up with Hancock to stop the Afterlife project. Hancock's motivation was personal. His daughter had also been implanted with a chip. With time running out, they quickly devised a plan. Since the server controlling the chips was located in a hospital at the center of the quarantine zone, they decided to go straight to the heart of the problem and use a computer virus to forcibly shut down the server. To handle any dangers they might encounter, Garth provided ample weapons. Carter also arranged for Jill to coordinate a helicopter outside, ready to extract them at any moment. With less than 13 hours left, the group immediately set their plan into motion. Using a secret underground tunnel, they quickly infiltrated the quarantine zone. However, an unexpected event occurred. Garth accidentally triggered a trap set by the thugs who were secretly dealing with Lyons. The group was disarmed and captured. It turned out that these thugs were also using the tunnel to transport prisoners for the military, and their destination was the hospital where the server was located. The leader, Skinner, didn't reveal much, instead turning his attention to Sandra. As Skinner was about to assault her, Carter, her boyfriend, flew into a rage. His sudden attack caught the thugs off guard. Meanwhile, Garth, who was being beaten by a female thug, managed to kill her and break free. He quickly came to support Carter. Realizing the place was about to explode, they hastily retreated. Although they managed to escape just in time, Their weapons were destroyed in the explosion. To make matters worse, the loud blast attracted a large horde of zombies, including a fast and agile variant. Garth, who was trailing behind, was tackled by one of these zombies. Carter and Sandra rushed to help him, killing the zombie before pulling Garth to safety. More of the fast zombies were closing in, so they broke open a door and hid inside just before the zombies caught up. Unfortunately, Garth had been bitten. Luckily, he carried Zombrex with him, and Sandra quickly administered an injection. Clearly, they had never encountered zombies this formidable before. During the fight, Carter noticed a number on the neck of one of the zombies, leading him to suspect that these zombies weren't naturally evolved but were products of some kind of experiment. There wasn't time to ponder this, as their immediate priority was to find weapons to defend against the zombies. Fortunately, they found plenty of usable items nearby and quickly set to work, each crafting a weapon to their liking. Once ready, they continued toward their destination. Not long after, they encountered a military patrol car. In a panic, they hid in a dark underground parking lot. Though they evaded the patrol, they stumbled upon something even more terrifying: a swarm of mutated, agile zombies. Engulfed by the horde, they found themselves in a desperate struggle. With the zombies coming in waves, they couldn't look out for each other and were forced to scatter and flee individually. In the chaos, Carter was horrified to see that Garth had also joined the ranks of the zombies. It became clear that Zombrex couldn't suppress the mutated virus. With a heavy heart, Carter had to put the zombified Garth down. Carter then found himself alone, escaping through a passageway. Just when he thought he had evaded the horde, he discovered that the tunnel was also teeming with zombies. In this dire situation, Carter unleashed an unprecedented level of combat skill, cutting down zombie after zombie. However, he was vastly outnumbered. After losing his weapon, Carter was quickly overwhelmed by the zombie horde. Just when Carter's life hung by a thread, a woman armed with a gun suddenly appeared, her shots hitting their marks as she rescued him from the zombies' clutches. Jordan's arrival took Carter by surprise. She had been presumed dead after being captured while gathering evidence against the military. But here she was, alive and kicking. As their separated teammates finally regrouped, Jordan recounted her own harrowing ordeal. It turned out she had managed to escape from the laboratory at the hospital. Fenitrans had a twisted doctor conducting horrific experiments with the support of the military. He was responsible for creating the evolved zombie virus, using prisoners as his guinea pigs. Learning of their mission, Jordan decided to join their ranks. With just 1 hour left until the activation of the Afterlife plan, Jordan knew a shortcut. Under her guidance, the team quickly made their way to the basement of the hospital. It was a horrifying sight, filled with the grotesque experiments of the twisted doctor. Thankfully, there weren't many guards here, and with the team's coordination, they subdued them swiftly. Time was of the essence, so Sandra hurried to hack into the system to shut down the Afterlife plan. But when Jordan saw the familiar environment again, painful memories flooded back. She couldn't bear it and left the group to seek revenge against the doctor alone. However, she underestimated the cunning doctor. By the time she realized she was facing a decoy, the real doctor had already appeared behind her. Upon discovering Jordan's disappearance, Carter immediately rushed to find her. However, by the time he reached the laboratory, Jordan had already been injected with the latest strain of the zombie virus by the doctor. Faced with Carter's gun, the doctor remained unfazed. He held the cure, and if he died, Jordan wouldn't survive the day either. Under the doctor's threat, Carter reluctantly lowered his gun. In truth, the doctor's research into the zombie virus aimed to find a method for immortality. Through his relentless experiments and research, he had made significant progress. However, just then, Hancock, who was supposed to be with Sandra, unexpectedly arrived at the laboratory. Without hesitation, he killed the doctor. It turned out his true motive for this mission wasn't to stop the Afterlife plan, but to obtain the elixir of immortality from the doctor. This substance would make him the wealthiest person in the world. After Hancock left, Carter immediately contacted Sandra and successfully found the antidote formula for the latest virus in the system. However, Hancock, intent on wiping out all evidence, unleashed the captive zombies as he departed, causing chaos. Worse still, Sandra's malware infiltration wasn't going smoothly. Lions quickly detected the server anomaly and instructed technicians to counteract it. They used a firewall to limit the virus's upload speed. With no other options, Sandra resorted to appealing to the guard for help, asking if there was any way to disable the firewall, a matter that could determine the fate of millions. Moved by Sandra's moral plea, the guard, with a conscience intact, agreed to assist her. He provided a password for an internal port, allowing Sandra to successfully disable the firewall and skyrocket the upload speed of the antidote formula. Lion sensed trouble and immediately dispatched F-22 fighter jets, preparing to destroy the entire hospital. If the server were destroyed, the Afterlife plan would still proceed as planned. Hordes of zombies quickly breached the facility. Fortunately, with the guards' protection, Sandra managed to shut down the Afterlife plan at the last moment. However, as the zombies multiplied, Sandra was forced to fend them off, wielding a makeshift weapon. Tragically, the guard was overwhelmed by the horde, sacrificing himself to buy Sandra some time. His sacrifice afforded Sandra the opportunity to enter the escape elevator and head to the rooftop. As Carter was preparing the antidote, a horde of zombies stormed into the laboratory. He had no choice but to engage in a desperate fight for survival. Anything in Carter's hands became a deadly weapon. After a brutal struggle, he managed to eliminate all the zombies. Without a moment to spare, he quickly administered the prepared antidote to Jordan. With a single injection, Jordan finally regained consciousness, indicating the successful preparation of the antidote. As they reached the rooftop, the helicopter that came to pick them up had been waiting for some time. With the pilot's cover, they boarded the helicopter safely. However, shortly after takeoff, military fighter jets arrived. In the story's final moments, Hancock, holding the antidote, attempted to return but encountered military personnel halfway. He met his demise at the hands of the soldiers, and the story ended there.